All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about three psychological truths that are, well, they're pretty simple, but honestly, they can be totally life-changing. If you really get these, it can completely reframe how you see, yourself, your relationships, everything, really.
But before we get into those, let me ask you something. Think about what's holding you back right now, your biggest challenge. Is it possible, just maybe, that the biggest thing standing in your way is you? Or more specifically, that little voice inside your own head?
And that's a perfect lead-in to our very first truth. I call this one the spotlight. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's all about tackling that feeling, the one that you're constantly being watched and judged by pretty much everyone.
So where does that fear even come from? Well, think about it. That pit in your stomach before a big presentation? Or that feeling when you're about to try something new and you just hesitate? The thing is, that anxiety, it's almost never based on reality. It's a story that we're telling ourselves.
And get this, psychology actually has a name for it. It's called the spotlight effect. It's this built-in feeling we all have, that there's this giant, invisible spotlight following us around, shining a bright light on every little mistake we make. But here's the good news. It's totally an illusion. And hey, we all fall for it. And this is the real kicker. While you're obsessing about your spotlight, guess what? Everybody else is standing in their own. They are the star of their own movie, right? They're so wrapped up in their own lives, their own worries, their own insecurities, they literally don't have the bandwidth to be judging you that harshly.
So what does that mean for you? It means you can stop holding yourself back. The moment you really, truly get that the audience you're so afraid of is mostly imaginary, you become free. Genuinely free. Free to try things, to be yourself, to live without that constant heavy weight of, what will they think?
Okay, so that's the first one. Now let's move on to our second truth. This one's a little different. It's about relationships. I call it the test, and it's a super powerful way to figure out who your real friends are, who really values you.
It's called the distance test, and it's really simple. Now, this isn't about playing games or anything like that. It's just observation. What happens when you just step back a little? If you stop being the one who always texts first and suddenly, crickets, well, that tells you something, doesn't it? It's tough to hear, but it's clear. But the people who genuinely care, they'll notice, and they'll reach out to close that gap.
So you see, true connection doesn't just fade away with a little distance. In fact, it's revealed by it. Think of distance like a filter. It sifts out the convenient friendships from the connections that are actually built on something real and solid.
All right, that brings us to our third and final truth. And honestly, this one might be the most important of them all. It's called the echo. And the idea is incredibly simple. Your mind believes what you repeat to it, period. Your brain is kind of like a recorder, It doesn't really judge what you tell it, it just accepts it. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, your brain goes, okay, got it, and literally builds pathways that make that feel true. But, and this is the amazing part, the opposite is just as powerful. If you start choosing better words, if you tell yourself a different story, you can actually change your life. You're literally reprogramming your own mind.
So, let's pull all this together. We've talked about the spotlight, the test, and the echo. What's the one thing they all have in common? Simple, really. The power to change your life. It starts right between your ears. It starts with your thoughts. And the best part is, this doesn't have to be some huge, overwhelming project. It's actually a pretty simple path. You just start small. Pick one thing. Then you work on changing your thoughts just about that one thing. And you'll be amazed that one tiny shift can be the start of changing your whole life.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question. We've gone over the spotlight, the test, and the echo. Which one of those really hit home for you? Which one made you go, ooh, yeah, that's me? And more importantly, which truth are you going to start with today?